everyone, it's me, Michelle L. Myers, messaging you here from Arizona on a very, very rainy day outside today. I wanted to address, of course, the virus. Everyone's talking about the virus, as well we should be talking about the virus. So I wanted to talk to my community, which is the autistic community, and also the chronic health community, invisible disease, rare disease community. And I'd like to just encourage you, because I know everyone might be giving you a hard time a little bit. For people who are dealing with someone, either your loved one has autism or you have autism, a sudden change in your schedule that you don't really have much control over can lead you to have a lot of anxiety and a lot of just feeling completely overwhelmed. Now, while we cannot, no one could have even imagined this would be the type of emergency that we'd be dealing with, there are some things you can set in place for yourself in order to deal with the fact that emergencies happen. Your senses are amazing, and if you have autism, they're really all over the place. Sometimes you have extra sensory, like Spider-Man sort of stuff going on. One thing that you can really do is understand that one sense can override another when you feel a panic or when you just feel a sense of being overwhelmed. One of the things that I do that actually can really help you is you can drink something like lemonade that's really sour, or you can have a smell of a certain essential oil, or a candle is what I have, that whenever I start to feel a little bit overwhelmed, it reminds me of all of the things that are peaceful and calm and that I'm okay and everybody is doing all right. So one thing that you can do right now that the schedule has just gotten all shocked to craziness is you can get that thing that is going to make something in your body understand that it can be calm, even though everything's kind of crazy sometimes. For those of you who have children who are like, oh dear Lord, they're not going to their therapy group, they're not going to school, we've gotten completely off their schedule, this still does really work. And one of the ways it works is with your hearing, which is music, of course. We all associate music with everything, and you all hear me talk about music a lot because it's the one thing that has helped me on this journey of having my particular brain and my children having autistic brains. So one thing you can do to get kind of in a routine when things are out of routine is have a song that you have on, a cell phone, a tablet, something like that, and start integrating it into your system to where it's like, oh, every time we hear this song, we're reminded of things that are happy, we're reminded of things that are good. So whenever there's an emergency or crisis and the schedule gets all mixed up, you got this song on there and it's like, okay, I can calm down, little Billy, sweet Susie. It can be something that can really help you. For those of you who are like, listen, that's just not working, I can't even get them to sit down to listen to music. One thing I highly recommend for everyone is something called magnesium calm powder. On my page, I put a link to it. I don't put a link to it, I put the picture. And it's a kind I have nothing to do with the brand whatsoever. It's just a thing that has worked for the last 5 or 6 years for my children. So getting calm, because sometimes you have to get a person calm before you can even do anything with them whatsoever. So what I do, it tastes like lemonade, it tastes like Kool-Aid, it's a little mix that you get. It lasts a very long time. And put it in the drink, mix it up, get the child to drink the drink. Magnesium, for anybody across the board, is something that's going to help with anxiety, depression, and calm you down. If for some reason you need to check with your healthcare professional because you have issues with beta blockers or magnesium, then please don't do anything that I say. Anyone, of course, unless you check with your doctor or your healthcare professional or your guru or your sensei or whatever it is that you have that deals with you with your health, because it doesn't have to just be an MD, it can be all other sorts of people. So that being said, it's about getting yourself into a state that no matter what happens, you have something that triggers you to come back to be calm. Many times we hear about triggers. People are like, oh, I'm so triggered. And you see sorts of memes about them and everything else. But the thing is, there can be things that are used for good triggering. So you want to set your children up, you're autistic, you're just going all over the place. You want to set up that you can know, okay, what triggers me into knowing that I'm all right. It might be a stuffed animal. It might be music. It might be a book. It might be a smell. It might be a taste. Whenever I get anxious, I have this lollipop thing because I also have like a oral fixation sort of thing going on, especially when I'm nervous. I chew up everything. So I always have lollipops when I'm out someplace if I get really nervous, and I just stick a lollipop and then I'm doing better. Just like a child, but I'm 47 years old. Yes, it does really work. All right. It's so beautiful, the rain here today. So the next group of people that I'd like to address as far as this virus is going on is the chronic illness community. Yes, the people like myself and my children who would be on that list of people who really need to be careful. Listen, I've had a genetic disease, which I didn't even know was a genetic disease my entire life. Things have been a little scary. And when I found out that we had Ehlers-Danlos, as well as I have something called hemiplegic migraines. I have acquired Gittleman syndrome. I have beriberi. All these things are rare. I think 6 people have one of the things that I have. I have to be very careful when I catch sicknesses and or colds. I definitely could be a person who's running around right now just totally paranoid of people, or literally live my entire life that way. However, God is good. Here's the spirit that I feel that I have to always tap into, which is life is short and it's beautiful in little bursts. So though there's things I have to be very cautious about, I also know that, listen, sometimes you can't control what's going to happen. Instead of that bringing a sense of fear for me, it actually makes me feel a little bit calmer. Because I know if I wake up every day and I'm doing just what I know to do to take care of myself and others, then that's just the very best that I can do. Well, no one can do any more than that. But I also want to encourage you this. If you're upset and you're panicking, you're buying up stuff, you are just like overrun, don't beat yourself up too bad. And this is also for people who don't have a chronic illness. You have no idea what that person's going through, thinking about, I caught a common cold. This is a very true story. You can check medical records. I went to the emergency room because it just wasn't going away one year. And as I laid there, I said, I just feel like this elephant sitting on my chest. All of a sudden, I said that. People were running all around. And lo and behold, I actually, from my cold, they have no idea how it happened, except that I have Ehlers-Danlos, so something crazy happened. The pericardium, which is a little sac there around your heart, started just filling up with fluid. There's no reason. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. But I could have died over a simple fact that I caught the common cold. Many of us have diseases and from post-orthostatic tachycardia syndrome and other dysautonomia things and people have. We don't have lives where we can joke all day long about the coronavirus. And it's not funny to some people. And they have every right to take it seriously if they are. I'm a person who has a really dark sense of humor, of course. I'm a person whose child almost dies all the time. I had one child die, and I also am a survivor of very traumatic circumstances. One of the things that helped me, besides the beautiful autistic brain God gave me, is the fact that I just compartmentalize. You can't worry about everything at the same exact time. So it's kind of hard to worry if you're dancing to music. It's kind of hard to worry if you're sitting watching a movie with your family and friends. It's hard to worry if you're a person who puts on your praise and worship music and dances it out. You have to purposely capture those thoughts, capture those moments, and distract yourself. At the same time, do not feel belittled. Do not feel that you're a terrible person because you're kind of nervous about this. You have anxiety over the fact that, this big thing is happening and I don't know what to do with it. Well, don't take the condemnation that people give you because you express your concerns. Expressing your concerns, go right ahead. Just don't get so caught up in the fact that, wow, something bad's going on, and then you can literally make yourself sicker. Those of you who know, you can make yourself sicker by worrying and getting yourself so anxietized. The thing that I mentioned for my autistic friends, magnesium, calm powder works fabulously just for you to be able to calm down. Magnesium is this awesome thing, which I don't really keep in my body, and so I have to actually take shots of it. But the calm powder that I recommend is magnesium calm powder. You can order it on Amazon. You don't even have to leave your home. You can order it and you can have it at your door. Please be careful and be safe. But for the people that are in my communities, which is autism, rare chronic diseases, all those sorts of things, I want to tell you that our prayers, obviously pray, obviously meditate, whatever it is that you do to keep your spirit encouraged. And don't let anybody ruin your day. I would probably at this point stop talking about politics, stop talking about religion, stop talking about sexual orientation, and maybe sit and just do things that remind you of when you were a child. Do things that sit and remind you of how good and innocent and pure that things can be. This too shall pass. The virus isn't going to always be around. So it's okay for you to be upset about it, especially my chronic illness friends. Someone like me catching the flu isn't the same as somebody who's completely healthy catching the flu. But I live my whole entire life not scared of catching the flu. Why? Because I know there's some things I can't control, but I do take precautions as best that I can, and I live my life and I go forward. So from my rainy Arizona home to all of yours, I want to say, may you be blessed, may you have complete perfect health, and may you also have a feeling of well-being and a feeling that you're okay. Everyone doesn't need to go run and get tested. That's the other thing. Everyone's like, I gotta get a test. If you feel perfectly fine, I wouldn't be that concerned. Yes, some people don't really have a lot of symptoms and they test positive for the virus because their immune system is the way it is. It's going to flush right out. Well, then again, what good does it do for you to have the test and confirm it necessarily? If you feel okay, you have a little cold, the same protocol will happen. If you get in a line of 100 people and you go and you have no symptoms, but you go and to go get the test, if it came back positive, they would send you home and say, isolate yourself. That's not that it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because it can have catastrophic. When we say the word catastrophic, when I say it, to the person who loses one family member from this, it's catastrophic for them. To the hundreds of thousands of people who probably won't even catch it, or who do and it's over in like 2-3 days, to them it wasn't that big of a test or a bump in the road. They're more upset about the toilet paper and the water being gone. I'm actually kind of upset about the toilet paper part and the water, I guess. But anyway, so I just want to be a positive. I feel a responsibility because I am a person in the community that encourages others and speaks out and gives advice. So from my limited little world and my limited knowledge on things, one thing I do know about is having a rare disease and surviving it and getting through it. My children and I have not caught the flu in 6 or 7 years. Actually, we never caught the flu again after we stopped getting the flu shot, but that's another story. But we wash our hands, we go places. You can whistle, Mary had a little lamb, wash your hands. Mary had a little lamb. Yeah, that's more than 20 seconds, I think. Whistle, Mary had a little lamb, wash your hands when you go to and fro. When you have to go out, you go out. If you don't have to go someplace where there's tons of people, then just don't go. Do your best. That's all any of us can do. And I love you all. I pray you blessings. Have a really, really wonderful day. And you can always message with your questions or concerns. Autistic people, we have, sometimes our brains work a certain way we work. Now, I have ADHD too. That's why you halfway see me acting like a crazy person a lot of times. And I have a lot of energy. Which is a really good thing if you're a pianist and you do films and other things like that. It's actually a good thing. And I love doing what I do. But the point about it is, ADHD, your mind can also run away with itself. Obsessive compulsive disorder, which some people have, you can kind of get a little carried away about right now. So take a breath, reach out for help when you need help also. Don't be afraid to tell your neighbor, your friend, your cousin, your mamas, your baby's daddies, whoever they are. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, listen, I need someone to talk to because I'm really getting upset about this.